Here we have, this is 502 Giles Place, Sterling, Virginia. And you'll see here it has a pending offer to 60. And it's listed by the Kaza Group, which is the group that I am on with Keller Williams. And so this property, you will see here in my description, this is an investor special for this property. I have here in the details, investor special would make a great addition to rental portfolio. Needs work, but in decent shape. Tenant occupied month-to-month rental agreement sold as is with no express guarantees or warranties. And so I'll tell you the backstory of this property. This is a absentee owner. There are tenants in here, and the owner just wants to sell it as quickly as possible. And it's currently occupied by tenants. And whenever you sell a house with the tenants in there, it is always, you will not get the max price that you can get for the property, because most people will want to buy a house and have it delivered vacant at closing. In this case, we're selling it with the tenants in there. The tenants are paying a good amount of rent, almost $1,800. So it's a great investor special. And this is an as-is sale, which means that the owner is not making any repairs. It's just an as-is sale. So I'm going to go into what I did to calculate the after repair value of this property. So what I did is, when you're looking for after repair value, you're looking for the properties that are the absolute best, in the absolute best shape, that are comparable to your property. So I'm looking for a property that is in this exact subdivision. I'm looking for property that has 3 bedrooms, the same amount of baths, similar square footage. I want it to be all very identical, but I want it to be in the absolute best shape as possible. So I'm going to show you what my as-is property looks like, because I have here like 30 different pictures. So I'm just going to click here so you guys can see what this property looks like, so that we can compare it to, how do I get it to go to the next picture? Okay, we can compare it to when I show you the property. See, this is the backyard. You can see that's a hot mess. It needs work. It's just a mess. Probably just needs a whole new back gate, just cleaned up and all that. Here you can see like there's some siding and stuff missing in the back of the house here. This door, this screen door, looks like it needs to be replaced. Here, this gate definitely needs to be replaced. Back here, like they put some carpet and different things down. All this needs to be replaced and cleaned up. Oh, excuse me, I need to sneeze, I think. Okay. This is the bathroom. Bathroom needs to be updated. This is where the washer machine is. You can see this, has some nice cabinets right here, but it needs, to be fixed up and look a little nicer. This is the basement, but, the tenants kind of have it. They have like beds down there. And so it just doesn't, show, it just affects the marketability of the property when, it doesn't look, when it looks messy and things like that. Like right here is a nice fireplace, but they have it like covered and things like that. It just doesn't show like the absolute best that this property can look. And you'll see that when I show you the ones that I use for after repair value, that those look way better than this property. Here's a bedroom, another bedroom, bathroom needs to be updated. Bathroom needs to be updated. Another, and this is the master bedroom, and it has a bathroom off of it. You know, needs to be updated. This is the living room or family room, whatever you want to call it. You know, it just doesn't look really updated and modern, you know, really old. This is a kitchen, you know, kitchen. You can see here, this is like Formica. This is not like granite countertops. You know, people really like granite and upgraded cabinets these days. The floor, this is like kind of cheap tile. People don't really like these white appliances anymore and things like that. Yeah, here's the kitchen. And I know, like, from talking with the tenants that, like, all the burners on the stove do not work. So it needs a new stove and things like that. Okay. Just to pull properties, I first pull what has sold in the last 60 days. If I still don't find anything, I pull what has sold in the last 90 days. If I still don't find anything, then I'll go to 180 days. And if I still don't find anything, I'll go to 360 days. But you really want it to be as recent as possible because the market changes. So you want to look at sales that happen as recent as possible. So here, look at this one. This is similar bedrooms, full bath. This one does not have the half bath. So I look here, this property sold for $282 and it has the pictures. I'm skipping this one because this doesn't have pictures for me to really tell. See the icon here for pictures? So I can't tell the condition this was in. So I just included it just so I would have that $280 price. So when I click on this is what I mean when I say this property looks way better. You see, this is the type of property you want to use to calculate after repair value. This is a renovated property. This property is in excellent condition. It shows well. It's updated. You know, look at this. This is gorgeous. You know, same community, same number of bedrooms, updated appliances, granite countertops. The floor, I think, is actually the same in ours, actually. But you can see big difference. The cabinets, like they've stained them. You see this? This is a big difference when you compare this to our property. So when we look at this, we see that, okay, the person that would buy this property, if they purchase our property, they would want a huge discount. Look at this, you know, the backyard is nice and can be used right away. It's not full of garbage and junk. You know, it has a new screen door and it's been recently painted. You know, the siding and these things are in good condition. You know, so this impacts the price tremendously that you can sell this house for. Look at this. It's nice and staged. You know, this property is in excellent condition. Excellent. Look at this. Excellent. Okay. All right. Just going to go through so you guys can see all of the pictures in this house. And this house was definitely staged. At least I think so. Unless whoever lived there just had really great decorating skills. Okay. Great. Okay. Then, so this house sold for, it was listed for $282,000. However, it sold for $285,000. And this is why I say you want access to the multiple listing service, because you get a lot of data that you cannot get on Zillow. Because if we look right here, there was a seller subsidy. A seller subsidy is what the seller gives back to the buyer at closing. So in this case, the seller gave back $3,000. So really, It closed at $285 minus the $3,000 subsidy. It actually sold for $282,000. And this sale was closed in June, okay, June 28th. And so this is a recent sale because now it's July. So that's what I mean. You want it to be as, as close to our current date as possible. Okay, so that tells us, so that's a good one. I love that house, right? So this was the 282 one. This one is 290. However, this one says 4 bedrooms. So this is bigger than our property, right? Then we can go here. This one has 3 bedrooms. Let's check this one out. This one's closed as well in June 7th. It was listed for $299. It closed at $285. And the seller subsidy was $1,700. So let's go through here and look at the pictures. What condition was this house in? It had updated appliances, stainless steel. It had updated cabinets. See, stainless steel, updated. It has granite countertops. It has backsplash. Okay. This house is in pretty good condition as well. So we always want to use the pretty houses for our after repair value. So this one's not as pretty as the last one, but it still looks better than our house, right? Let's do this. Let's just look through these pictures. Updated sink. This is a more modern sink. Fireplace. Nice. As opposed to our fireplace that is currently covered by junk in my listing. Backyard is nice, stained gate. Look at this, beautiful. Look at this. This is much better than the crap, that kind of the tenants have really messed up. Look at this, way more modern looking. Look at this grill. It just looks more modern, more inviting that someone would want to live here. Okay. Updated, look, washer machine room is much more updated and clean. The walls are finished, okay? Okay, so we can go back here. Then we have this one. List price $310. It's 3 bedrooms. This one has 3 full baths, okay? So let's look at this one. See, updated hardwood floors. Updated kitchen. See? Much better carpet than ours has. Window more light, more open. It shows more clean. And cleanliness impacts the value that a house will sell for. If a house is messy, it just really, affects the marketability of the house if it's a mess. It's clean. Look at this. Nice, clean doors. You can see that the carpet is new. It's not all matted. Okay. This is a type of new sink as well. See, updated shower here and all these things. Okay. So I just want to go through to show you why you need to pick, again, the backyard. Look at this nice patio here, stone, much better than ours. Okay. I just want to go through all of them. See, this was the list price, $310. It closed at $297. Seller subsidy, 0. And this closed recently in May. Okay, so this is a great comparable home to use when we're looking at, okay, how much is our property worth? Okay, let's go to here. This one, 3 bedrooms again. All right, nice and clean, open, empty. Look at this. Updated kitchen again. So you see how this impacts the price so much if a house is updated. So much, especially the kitchen and the bathroom. And if the kitchen and the bathroom are updated, huge difference in price when you compare it to a house that does not have an updated kitchen and updated bathrooms. And you could see it here when you look at this comparable, because the truth of the matter is the market always talks to us. The market always tells us what it values, and all we have to do is look. And right here we see the market values having an updated kitchen, having a clean house, having updated bathrooms. See, you see that? Big difference, big difference. I hope I'm not moving through the slides too quickly. Like that. Look at this. Much better than our backyard, okay? So by the time I do all that, this one closed at $293, and they got a seller subsidy of $8,000, okay? And it closed back in April. So within the time frame, like I say, it's July now. So if I just look at what sold in April of this year, what sold in May of this year, and what sold in June of this year, I can see, hey, if this property was updated, this property should be selling like in the 290s area or so, high 290s, depending on how much upgrade that she has. Unfortunately, though, our property, my property here, where is it? It just doesn't show as well. It needs help. And so I talk about what I originally did. I listed this property at $249,900. And the reason why I did that was that people usually search in like $50,000 or $25,000 range. So I want the property to show up. If somebody looks at $250,000 and under, I want my property to show up. So I listed it at $249,900, and it had an after repair value of about $295 or so, right? What occurred is I advertised this in this situation as a good rental property. And for rental property, people are usually willing to pay more, about like 85% up to 90% of the after repair value. So I listed it for $249,900. And what occurred was that we had several offers on the property, so a bidding war occurred, and we accepted an offer of $260,000. And so that's one of the keys too, is when you come out lower and people see it's a good deal, they will bid up, as opposed to if you list the property too high in the beginning, then people just, will say it's listed, too high, and it doesn't, you don't get the bidding war to raise the price. So I just want to talk about this in calculating after repair values. Very important that you always pull your comparable properties that are the pretty houses, but they need to be extremely similar to your property. They must be identical. They must be in the same subdivision. They need to have the same number of bedrooms, the same number of bathrooms, have the same design. They must be very, very, very similar. It needs to be townhouse compared to townhouse. Don't compare townhouses to single families that are in that same subdivision. They must be exact. The only thing that should be different is their address. You must find property that is as similar as possible. And so that is my advice to you. So one of the things also, you want the properties to be as close as possible. But for a rental, this is a beautiful deal. The tenants are paying like almost $1,800 rent. So, it's the guy that's buying it is going to buy it cash. And so that's just going to be a nice income coming in for him. The house is livable. It's in decent condition. So, that's what makes, it a good deal, is that he doesn't really have to go in and rip everything out, because the tenants are in there. And in this situation, the tenants actually want to stay. They've already stated they want to stay. So it's just great investment. to come in, buy this house, have instant equity. That's what an investor is looking for. Also, I just want to pinpoint on this because to show people not to rely on Zillow for property estimates, because you can see here, what does Zillow say? Zillow says that the estimate for this house is $261,232. Now, I can tell you, originally, before this house was listed, before I ever spoke to the buyer, and when I first came on Zillow, the estimate for this house was over 290. It was like 295 or something like that. But once I listed it for 249, 900, Zillow's estimate went down to 249, and then now that we're closing it out and we changed that price to 260, Zillow's estimate went up. So you can see you can't completely 100% rely on Zillow. You can use the data to compare and contrast, but it's not like the Zillow estimate is not the Bible value of the property. Zillow is just a computer. You have to use the information that I just provided, which the computer cannot do. The computer cannot see if the bathroom is updated or not. The computer cannot see if the kitchen is updated. The computer cannot see that this is a tenant-occupied house we're trying to sell, as opposed to selling a house that it's already vacant, because an already vacant house will always sell for more than a house where you're trying to sell it and have the person close on it with the tenant in there. So that's what I'm saying. Just use Zillow as a starting point, kind of look and see what Zillow says, but do not use Zillow as the final word on if something is a deal or not. So that is my tip for this week.